What's up, guys? This is Miasin. So ever since the very start of this archetype's existence, I figured that Goblin Biker never really got respected enough. And honestly, at first it did make sense because it didn't really have enough support. But with the new wave of support from Rage of the Abyss, the deck is going to change to a point where I want to say the deck is slowly but surely getting into tier 1 territory. Obviously, it does depend on what we get on the ban list, which of course, I'm really praying to God that it happens very soon. And hopefully this deck also dodges the ban list because it can still kind of get nerfed indirectly, even though you're not, not a single Goblin Biker card is gonna get hit, but you understand what I'm trying to say. So I'll be showing you guys a bunch of combos on what I try to, on what I managed to figure out, because this deck, like I said, is very good, a lot of potential, very consistent, very powerful, and it is quite resilient to hand traps for the most part. But before we go any further, you already know the drill, smash the like and subscribe button. And also, if this video can get to 1,000 likes, I will be making a spreadsheet video on this deck, which I will be waiting until we get a ban list to do. So you're already gonna know what I will be showcasing you in the future will be, ready to play for your next YCS or something. Anyways, combo number 1, all I have is Goblin Biker Grand Entrance, the Goblin Biker Grand Entrance. So whatever, this card can search any Goblin monster from your deck to your hand, but it's not just that, because it has a nasty graveyard effect where you can banish it from the grave, and then detach a material from a monster on either field, then recycle back a Goblin Biker monster from your graveyard to your hand. So yeah, it's really good. And also, even when you search a Goblin Biker monster, it has a bonus effect where you can also detach a material from, again, anywhere on the field to summon a level 4 lower Goblin monster from your hand. So if you're going second against Purely, and you activate this card, you win the game on the spot, because then you detach their level 1 cat, and their XP Really Noir doesn't interrupt you anymore, so that's unfair. Anyways, you're gonna be searching the biker, the badass bikers, which if you control no monsters, or all monsters you control are Goblin monsters, you can normal summon this card without tributing. So that's the reason why, you might be traumatized to see a level 6 monster being summoned with no tributes. And on normal or special, you get to summon any level 4 lower Goblin monster from your deck. So it's a very good card. And we can summon that Dog Charger, which on summon, it gets to search for a Goblin Biker Speller Trap, not just a Goblin Speller Trap. So yeah, it doesn't search Upstart Goblin, not that it matters. This card right here is Goblin Biker Grand Bash, continuous spell. It boosts the attack of all of your Goblin monsters for 300 attack for each Goblin monster you control, so they can quickly become very strong. So yeah, 3,000 attack already. It went from 24 to 3,000, and sometimes you have way more, so they end up having like 5k or something ridiculous. But yeah, you can also target 2 Goblin monsters on your field and make them... Oh my god, how can I put this? Make the level of one of the monsters become the current level of the other, or both of their levels become their combined original levels. But I will be making both of them level 3, and then I'll be going into Big Head Gabonga, which then searches for this card right here, the Clatter Splotter. And I'm going to be using the graveyard effect of Grand Entrance, so detach the Dog Charger from my Gabonga, and then recycle it back, and then special summon by detaching material, because I never used that effect. And then the extra normal summon for the Grand Bash, I forgot this small little detail, which is one of the main reasons why you play this card. So you get an additional normal summon, so that's the reason why we're normal summoning twice in this combo. And this card is a Monster Reborn on normal or special summon. Very, very good card. It's one of the MVPs of the deck. So yeah, we're reviving back the badass Goblin Bikers, and then linking off into IP Masquerena. And then end phase, we're going to be getting the Boom Mac. Not that it really matters. It could also be another monster. This doesn't look like it's that many interruptions, but this is a completely unbreakable board if your opponent doesn't have board breakers. You can interrupt your opponent so much because of the graveyard effects of your cards and the hidden effects of your monsters. So I don't know if you can see it already, but we can detach a material during either player's, during your opponent's main phase with the Clatter Splotter from any Xyz monster on the field, and then revive back, which again is a Monster Reborn even when it's summoned on your opponent's turn. And when a material is detached from an Xyz monster on the field, you can use Gabonga to attach any monster your opponent controls. Well, target one face of monster on the field, except that this card, attach it to this card as a material. So yeah, this is going to be interruption number 1. And then we're also going to be getting another search with the Dog Charger, which gives us a follow-up play. And we can also revive back another monster with the Boom Mac. And we can make a big-ass Appaloosa for 4. And also this is going to be another interruption, because the badass Goblin Bikers, when it's sent to the graveyard, you can target any card on the field, even spells and traps, attach it to your Goblin Xyz monster on the field. So yeah, we have double attach and Appaloosa for 4 with, you know, a search, a pretty nice, you know, amount of monsters overall on the field. So it's beautiful to look at. Okay, so from here on out, we will try to respect Nibiru as much as we possibly can. So I have Tour Guide from the Underworld. That's it, that's all. And our opponent has Nibiru. So normal summon Tour Guide and then use its effect and summon this card right here. The, I'm gonna, hold on, I have to pause. The Goblin Biker Mean Merciless. I haven't shown this one yet. I mean, I have in the past, but not in this video. If this card is normal or special summon, you can special summon a Goblin monster from your hand, so it's one of the weaker effects. During your main phase, if this card is in your graveyard, during only your main phase, it's not a quick effect, you can detach a material from, again, any monster on the field, and then special summon it, but banish it when it leaves the field. So it's the exact same thing as the Cloud Exploder or whatever, the Monster Reborn, but instead of Monster Reborning, it summons from the hand, and instead of being during your opponent's main phase, it's during your main phase only. So yeah, quite frankly, it is a little worse, but it is a level 3 Fiend monster, the only Goblin Biker that's a level 3 Fiend, so that's the only target for Tour Guide. And we're going to be going straight away for the Gabunga, which searches the Dog Charger. Again, you know, arguably the best Goblin Biker in the deck, with Badass and Cloud Exploder. But yeah, detach material, search for the Imprisonment this time, and then detach yet again another material for the Merciless. Now, at this point, we have committed 5 summons, so if our opponent wants to nib us, that's perfectly fine, because we can tribute the nib token to use the Grand Biker, the Goblin Biker Grand Imprisonment, which then summons the Badass, which then summons the Monster Reborn, and then we can keep playing from there. So we'll assume that we do not get Nibiru'd as of yet. We will be threatening the Nibiru by trying to make a Caesar as soon as we possibly can. We only need to play 1 Fiendsmith in order to achieve this, so it's not like you gotta play the full package. And then we're basically forcing out the Nibiru, so that's fine. And we're going to be using the Nibiru token, as I said, summon the Badass, which then summons the Monster Reborn from the deck. And then that's going to be reviving back the Gabunga, and we're not even close to being done. We make an IP, attach the Nibiru, so not only do we clear the Nibiru, and also we end on IP, the Gabunga, and the full grave setup, because now we've got the Badass in the graveyard and the Cloud Exploder, which is going to be the double attach again, as well as the Apple. As a matter of fact, this is the exact same board as Grand Entrance, assuming that you don't get interrupted. So yeah, 1 Tour Guide is 6 interruptions through Nibiru. That's ridiculous. Like, let that sink in. This is completely cracked. And we also have a huge follow-up, and if our opponent tries to attack over IP, well, I mean, we can just banish the Grand Biker Grand Imprisonment from the grave, and then make our opponent lose, what is it, 1,000 attack for each something in your grave? I forgot, for each, like, Xyz material attached to your Xyz monster, something like that, I forgot. Doesn't matter, who cares, our opponent is not gonna win the game, because the Goblin Biker best deck, what can I say? I still have more ways of interrupting you. That's a nice deck you got there, look at this, 3 monsters on board. I can even go into an SP if I want to, and then banish a card and attach a card. This is too much, right? And then, yeah, banish again, and there you go. Merry Christmas, you are dead. Okay, so just like Tour Guide is a 1-card OTK, guess what? Well, Terratop is also a 1-card, so not a 1-card OTK, but I meant like a 1-card full combo through Nibiru. Terratop is the exact same thing, so special summon Terratop, and then get your search for the attack at Tumborg. I love the fact that this gets you access to Gabunga without having to take up your normal summon, and Gabunga is kind of like the MX Saber Invoker of the deck. It's on the same level of brokenness. It's the 1-card combo that gets you there, but this time we do not search the Imprisonment, but rather the Grand Entrance, because we haven't used our normal summon, so that's the reason why it's a little better. And then, yeah, obviously try to force out the Nibiru as soon as we can with the Caesar, but we get Nibiru as soon as we can summon the Caesar. That's the main reason why you even want to go for this line and play the Fiendsmith cards, because otherwise it's not even that much of a necessity. But as long as cards like Nibiru exist, and this deck does have to perform multiple summons in order to really do what it wants to do, you need ways to beat Nibiru, and honestly, it's sad to say, but the Fiendsmith engine, I was gonna say the most efficient way to do it, but probably the only way. I can't really think of anything else. I mean, there are some rank 3 monsters out there like Bamboozling Gossip Shadow that can negate Nibiru, but then you're also giving your opponent a draw. You're making yourself draw a card too, but let's try to not think about the positive aspects of things. But yeah, search for your Badass Goblin Bikers off of Grand Entrance and that tribute summon over the Nibiru token. Yet again, that is going to be the exact same setup, so attach the Nibiru. Also, recycle back your Dog Charger, and then end phase get your Mean Merciless, and then it's pretty much, again, the exact same setup, so it's a bunch of summons on the opponent's turn, 2 attaches to be exact, as well as a potential Appaloosa for 4, if we really want to, yeah, because this summons from deck as well, and then we also get a search, and we can make a big-ass Apple attach, and there we go, you are dead. Alrighty, so for the deck list, again, I'm trying to make this as clean and understandable as possible so that even if you have an IQ of 30, you should still be able to understand. But to be fair, if you watch my videos, you are by definition default someone smart. It's not like you're watching... Oh, I'm not gonna finish the sentence, otherwise I'm getting cancelled. Okay, so 3 Molchami Furaros. Yep, okay, cool. Obviously, right? Because this is gonna be out in Rage of the Abyss, so it's not like you can say, oh, but Yaksa, this card doesn't exist yet. Shut up. Okay, 3 Ash to negate the Molchamis, especially the Porolia, because this one wipes the floor with the deck. By the way, I forgot to mention, well, I mean, I did in the past, this deck does not lose to Shifter. Finally, yes, it's one of the only combo decks that doesn't lose to Shifter at all. You can still make very big boards through Shifter, and you can play Shifter yourself. So you can side deck it when you know for a fact that you're going first. When you're going second against decks that lose to Shifter, it's not too bad, but it's better going first than than second, obviously. 3 Ghost Ogre. Oh yeah, Tenpai Dragon. I assume that deck will be everywhere moving forward, because when I make like balanced videos and everything, or you know, videos of me saying I don't really like Tenpai too much, I think it's pretty apparent that Tenpai players are very fond of their deck for some reason. I say things like Tenpai Dragon Chandra could get banned and wouldn't really change too much. I show proof, and people are still, you know, oblivious to the reality that is the fact that nobody gives two shit, and also nobody gives a shit about Tenpai Dragon players too. So yeah, all right, 3 Imperm, so yeah, 12 hand traps, and then a lot of 1-card starters. So yeah, Terratop, Tour Guide. These cards are the Exodias of the deck. Both of them are broken, but Terratop is obviously better because it doesn't take up your normal summon. It does clash with cards like Bestials and Nibiru, so that's the reason why we are not trying to play those cards. And then Tour Guide is, like I said, it's the best normal summon, but it is still a normal summon. So yeah, you gotta watch out with the other cards that could also be normal summons. The Fiendsmith, that's how you can either go into Evilzor Lars or Goblin's Crazy Bees going second. Very good card at breaking boards, and also it's a Goblin monster, so it has inherent synergy in your deck. So the Fiendsmith package, it doesn't just do nothing like of real value for the deck. It actually adds a lot. It's not just, okay, you fusion summon, and then you'll make a DS Era, etc. As a matter of fact, I'm not even playing Sequentia. I'm really just trying to make rank 6s. So yeah, this deck, I'm playing it differently. And then 3 Emergency Teleport, which only summons Ghost Ogre. So that was another reason for me to play Ghost Ogre, even though it's not like the main reason, because it's still a good handshot for the most part. But yeah, being able to summon a handshot from your deck, we don't need to play the Psychic monsters. They kind of suck because they do not do anything on their own if you do not control a monster. And one of the biggest issues of the deck is you normal summon a monster and then it gets negated and destroyed, and then you got nothing on the field. My problem with the Goblin Biker monsters is that all of them, yes, sure, they're extenders, but only if there is an Xyz monster on the field with Xyz materials. Otherwise, they do less than nothing. Like this doesn't do much on its own if you already used up your normal summon. This either, this either, this either, this either, this either. So yeah, it's just, this card is the only one that doesn't require like an Xyz monster that's already there. And also this card gives you an additional normal summon. So yeah, these two spell cards, they're really good, but they're not like full 1-card combos, whereas this one is. So that's the reason why we're trying to balance, you know, everything, just to make sure that the ratios are as appropriate as possible. Anyways, where was I? Oh yeah, obviously I think you can understand why I'm playing all these cards. And then 1 Attractus, 1 Luri, 3 Grand Imprisonment. I mean, this summons badass from the deck, and you can also dodge Valor and Imperm with it. So it is the absolute nuts. 3 Grand Entrance, which is also a 1-card combo. So we have such a high likelihood of having full combo against our opponent. This deck is pretty much never breaking. Like, pretty much everything that you see here, 1-card combo. And also the Fiendsmith. And also, like, 2 level 3 monsters on the field. So you could have, like, E-Telly and Ghost Ogre. And that's, I mean, that's already insane. That's already really good. Where was I? Yeah, Takatumborg. Yeah, the bad cards. I mean, you know, we don't even have to play a lot of bad cards in the deck. It's really just Takatumborg and the weird one-ofs. Like, Mac, not super great to draw. And then, I mean, it's not bad to draw either, but it's not, like, great. Collateral Splauder, one of the worst cards to draw, because it makes you rely on the effect of Mean Merciless, but it's not, like, the end of the world. And then Badass Goblin Bikers, it just makes you rely on the effect of Mean Merciless if you draw it. The only issue is when you start drawing all of them at the same time. Then it becomes, like, not good. Because, ironically, in the Goblin Biker deck, you're not trying to draw a Goblin Biker hand. It might sound really weird, but the hands that you're trying to draw are kind of like Burning Abyss hands, if that makes any sense. Like, you're trying to draw Terratop Tour Guide. That's how you know you're good at the game. Terratop Tour Guide with Grand Imprisonment and then Hand Shops. Those are like the insane hands. The hands that are shit are the hands with all the one-ofs. There you go. And obviously Takatumborg. Yeah, and then 2 Dug Charger. I already explained why I'm not trying to play 3. It's just, it takes up your normal summon if you don't already have an Xyz on the field. So it's just, yeah, sure, it's kind of full combo on its own, but not really. It's not good enough. Like, you go normal summons this, and then get your Search for Grand Imprisonment, and then summon Badass, and then summon back this, and then revive back this, and then make a rank 3, etc. You can see where this is going. It does lose to Nibiru, though. Anyways, for the extra deck, 1 Evilzor Lars, the Caesar, the Goblin's Crazy Beast, these are the best rank 6 monsters that you can play. And then Moon of the Close Sky, as well as Fiendsmith Requiem. I will, again, be revisiting this deck if the Fiendsmith engine gets completely annihilated, but I don't necessarily think that's going to be the case. And then 1 Necroca Princess. Yeah, obviously, because of the package that we're now trying to play. You know, the Fusion, the Sequentia with Lacrimosa, etc. Zeus, Machine X, and then the double Gabunga, DDD Darius. So that's another way to beat Shifter. You go normal summon Tour Guide, summon the Mean Merciless or another Tour Guide if you really want to. You'll relay for this, and then Machine X pass. And then Flunderies is pretty much scooping to that, unless they have, like, Dark Ruler. But even if they have, like, Evenly, it doesn't really do anything, because you just need 1 monster to attach 2 of their birds, which is insane. It's, like, the best form of removal against them. They pretty much lose their birds, like, almost permanently. And then Levier, yeah, in order to get back your banished monsters, because both the Mean Merciless and the Clatter Splouter, when they use their effects from the graveyard, they get banished when they leave the field. So sometimes you use them as link materials, and you don't really want to, you know, get kind of cook yourself. So yeah, Levier is really good at recurring back resources. It's just an overall very good rank 3 monster. I think that one has been a classic for the longest time. And then SPIP, and finally Nightmare Phoenix, because it's a fiend, so it makes it so that Tour Guide can beat There Can Only Be One. I think that's, again, very logical. And it should also be easy to out cards like There Can Only Be One, because you have so many different types of monsters as well. You got Terratop, that's a machine, and then you can normal summon a Hand Shop, and then you also have like Tour Guide, which only has to summon a fiend, so that doesn't work actually. But it does beat, again, Rivalry, not Goes and Match. I'm stupid. Alright, for the idea section, the Appaloosa that you could or could not play. I mean, it's really up to you. I think IP into SP is good enough. Underworld Goddess with Bamboozling Gossip Shadow. This is the future of the deck if the Fiendsmith engine gets demolished. Downward Magician, the Utopic Draco package, which is also very good with the Ghost Trick cards. This is also another direction that you could go into. I'm a huge fan. The only issue with the Draco, well, the Utopic package, is huge commitment in the extra deck. So you're pretty much burning half of your extra deck. But to be fair, you can pretty much argue the same with the Fiendsmith engine. So it's really up to you what you prefer. And then the Xyz armor package, which I actually think is the worst one. I think the Utopics are a little better. Finally, we got the Goblin Biker, Grand Crisis, and the Grand Stampede. I don't necessarily recommend any of them, but I also don't think any of them are bad. So you could side deck one of the two, but I really recommend main decking the Grand Bash. That card's a little better because it's a spell, so obviously you can use it right away. And the additional normal summon is huge, but also the fact that you can adjust the level of your monsters. Don't sleep on that. It's pretty nice. Anyways, that's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Peace.